Trump Elon madness.
Yo, that shut the internet down.
This is crazy.
Like, people who aren't even in politics were texting me last night and were just like, hey, did you see what's happening? Like, the girls are fighting. Girls were fighting was trending on Twitter yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a way to say it?
Yeah, like that's
funny.
what the youth are saying. It really came down to the big, beautiful bill. Elon
tweeted.
We
think.
I think
this
that's
is my hypothesis. Yeah, same.
He said, I can't take it anymore. This is an abomination. We talked about that. But then Elon just had time and he just kept going. He started retweeting other tweets. He started bringing up Trump's tweets from 2013, 2020, all these other things that talked about a balanced budget and balancing.
Yeah, I think Trump popped off about him and that was that. But this is utterly fascinating to watch these insanely powerful guys be dumb and say, like, just keep my name out your motherfucking mouth, Drew. Like, what? Oh my God. So the number of times that I have said in business to somebody, but you'll be going into a meeting, something really untoward will have happened. And I will remind people as we go into the meeting, we're not going to do anything emotionally satisfying in this meeting. And so if you're going in because this person hurt your feelings and you think they're out of pocket, in this meeting, we're just, where do we want to go? What are the things that we have to do to get there? And when people start slinging mud, it's like, dude, what are you doing? So when you start looking at the timeline, there's no doubt that Elon fired the first shot in terms of saying that the big, beautiful bill was trash. Now, he doesn't call Trump out by name, but basically, and he said, you who voted for it. Trump may not have voted for it, but this is signature legislation for him. So he's going to feel called out by that. So that is mistake number one. Mistake number two, though, is during the press conference when people asked, like, hey, what about the fact that Elon is popping off about this big, beautiful bill? And then Trump starts going into, I mean, he literally says that he has Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, oh my God. And that I would have won the election without him. It's like, what are you doing? And so now you get into this spiral where they are both approaching this as if what they're seeking is emotional gratification.
Let's start at like the very beginning. I'm Elon. I'm sorry, I can't take it no more. This is a bad bill. We should do something to balance the budget. To me, that's not fighting words. To me, that's criticism. It's going to increase the deficit. I've been banging about deficit. My whole job was to try to cut government waste and abuse. So me saying that, it's not like it's left field. I think it escalated, and I'm going to blame Elon because this is the same guy that thinks his gaming stats. So, of course, he's going to take this a bit more petty. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House. Republicans would be 51-49. Such ingratitude. To me, I think that was the line because then it became, to your point, about the bill to about, I'm now going to take
But Trump had already said he has Trump derangement syndrome. So if you look at the timeline of how this all played out.
The Elon tweet, the Trump press conference.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the Trump press conference and see maybe.
Yeah, so Elon basically just said, hate the bill. And then this happened.
Elon knew the inner workings of this bill. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars. And it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have
Careful
different.
what you
We
wish
want to have
for.
hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different. And I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody.
There are a few different pieces that are on the table in terms of what it could be that Elon is really freaking out about. And I've got certainly my take. There are some tweets and clips from other people like Naval that I want to play because I think that they get pretty close to what's really going on. The pieces on the table. He hated the bill because it had pork in it. He hated the bill because it was negative for his companies and it hurt the EV subsidies that he was getting, and he just wants it for his own sake. He's pissed because the NASA guy that he suggested didn't get in there. Okay, which of these is it? It's entirely possible that it really is, when you look at Elon's sequence of behavior, that what's really going on is we're headed towards a fiscal cliff. And people are acting like it doesn't matter. And this has been a lot of Elon's rhetoric is, guys, this is exactly how countries go broke. People are acting like we can't default. We will eventually default. You will eventually owe so much money on your fucking debt. You can't do anything else. Are people not seeing that? Like, hey, guys, there are physics to this shit. I just got in this big debate over a business decision. And I was like, there are physics to every situation. And to be mad at me for pointing out that there are physics. Like, you will hit a point where, like, let's say you're trying to do an initiative inside of a business. And it's like, if we do that initiative, then we go from being in the black to being in the red. If we have a goal that says we must be in the black and you do that initiative and that pushes you into the red, are you saying I would like to officially change my goals and now I don't care about being in the black? Being in the red's perfectly fine as long as we get this outcome. At least then we can have a sensible conversation. Elon has been saying from the fucking beginning, I'm coming in, I want to cut these costs because we're headed towards a fiscal cliff. We have to get this together. He buys X, Twitter. And he says, we need free speech because this is what matters to humanity. We want to go to Mars because this matters for humanity. We want to get EV going because this matters for humanity. This guy's been remarkably consistent. He's the richest man in the world, but sleeps under his desk, doesn't have a fancy house, like literally sold all of his like houses and stuff and is like, that's not what matters to me. What matters to me is getting this stuff going. He slept on the floor or couch of, for sure, Tesla. I don't know about SpaceX, but maybe. Definitely X. Definitely the government. This is not a guy who's optimizing for, I want a lavish lifestyle. This is a guy who's, you suddenly have a lot more predictive validity if you're like, oh shit, he actually really believes in these things. And he's being hyper petty about this shit. And it is a weird part of his personality that if I were advising him, I'd be like, for the love of God, like this kind of thing is not going to get you where you want to go. But I don't think he's on video as early as 2021 saying, I don't care about the EV subsidies, remove them. That was when Biden was in office. He was saying, remove them. They don't matter. Now it's possible that he's so annoyed that they removed the subsidies for EV vehicles, but did not remove the oil and gas subsidies. Maybe the unfairness just got under his skin, but you're not going to be able to predict Elon's behaviors unless you go, this is somebody who actually believes the things that he says. There's a tweet, in fact, that I think gets this pretty well. I think it's the Naval one. He says, Elon's stance is principled. Trump's stance is practical. Tech needs Republicans for the present. Republicans need tech for the future. Drop the tax cuts, cut some pork, get the bill through. But the idea that Elon's stance is principled and he just cannot stop himself from saying exactly what he thinks. And then Trump is a politician who is slathered in guile, who is saying the things that he needs to say. He's shaking the hands that he needs to shake. He's compromising where he needs to compromise. That whole reality of politics feels like it's a red pill unto itself when you realize what politics is actually like. But politics is riding on the back of the truth of the way that the human animal is. And the reality is we lie because it's effective. Because it's effective, you're forced to do it. And so as a politician, you're forced to lie. You're forced to do back scratching. You're forced to do quid pro quo because it all works. And like, I think secretly deep down, we all know that's how politics functions. And I think what you're seeing right now is that collision. Elon put everything at risk, torched his companies. I mean, just his own like ability to enjoy his life, like for 6 months longer. He feels some kind of way about, and after all of that, this guy's still going to drive the car off the cliff.
It's a slap in the face.
It is and it isn't, man. So here's the reality. It's entirely possible. It's all inescapable. Given the nature of politics, you have to drive off the cliff. and that there's no way to avoid it. That's so defeatist, I don't even like to say it out loud. This is what it feels like. Watching my own journey has been surreal because at the individual level, optimism is the only thing that makes sense. At the macro level, it's really distressing. Here's the analogy that has come full into view for me. Life exists on two levels. I want you to imagine you're in a car. And in the car are your loved ones. And you're on a road trip. And you're having a great time. And you guys are laughing. And you realize love matters. And the way that you spend your time matters. And you're here with these people that you care about. And everything just feels right. And your kids are in the back seat. And they're bickering a little bit. And that's annoying. But you know they're going to grow up one day. And they're going to do cool shit. And you and your wife, you know, sometimes you have frustrations. And sometimes you butt heads. But like, they're your best friend and you get to have sex with them and it's like fucking rad and you've made some money in life and things are going good and look at what you've created and look at what you've done. And then, Drew, it also exists on the macro level of you're on a satellite looking down at the car and you realize, that road is headed towards a bridge that's blown up or just a cliff. And it's entirely possible that the people that built the road built it to go off a cliff, or they know the bridge is blown up, but the road still goes there. And there are people that run up to the side of the road and they're screaming, hey, the bridge is out. But you're in the car and you're having a good time. And so the question becomes, how much of your time do you spend zooming out and going, we're headed towards a cliff? Because it is so nakedly obvious to me in the same way that I know where my business is when I look at the spreadsheets. Just look at your P&L. Everyone's naked in a P&L. Mm-hmm. When you come out to the satellite level and you look down, you just see, it's inevitable. We drive off the cliff. The debt will bankrupt this country as it has bankrupted every country before it. Mm-hmm. But are you an asshole if you just stay up at the satellite and you forget that inside the car it's rad? I don't know what to do with that, because when I go up to the satellite, some part of me feels like I'm betraying my own worldview of like pursue fulfillment, stay focused on the things that are wonderful and beautiful, because it may be inevitable. And at the same time, when I'm in the car, I feel like now you're just pretending. Now
you're like not looking at the problem, you're ignoring the problem, hoping it goes away.
And it's like, am I betraying my worldview of you can always make change? As long as it doesn't violate the laws of physics, you can do something about it. And so I come to this really weird intellectual thing that has me sketching out between I want to be in the car with my wife and think about the beautiful things that we're creating. And I want to see if I can do my small part to nudge the car in a direction, to get at a minimum, take your foot off the accelerator.